If you're in your 40s or 50s and you feel like your brain just stopped working the way it used to, you need to hear this, because here's the thing. 60% of women going through menopause report brain fog, forgetting names, losing words mid-sentence, walking into a room and having no idea what you're doing there. And look, you've probably been told this is just hormones, that it's normal, that you should just wait it out or maybe try some hormone therapy. But what if I told you there's something your doctor almost certainly never tested? Something that costs less than lunch to check, and something that could be making your brain fog dramatically worse. There is a specific measurable reason you can't find words in meetings anymore. And the worst part, your doctor will run a blood test, look at it, and tell you you're normal. But new research out of the University of Oklahoma just proved that normal on that piece of paper is actually starving your brain. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that is. The number on your lab report you need to check immediately. And more importantly, what to do about it. And by the way, if you have a mom, sister, friend, or wife going through perimenopause or menopause who's been struggling with brain fog, send them this video right now. Because so many women are suffering through this, thinking it's just something they have to live with. We're seeing women get dismissed with antidepressants or just told to relax when physically their brains are just hungry for the one nutrient. You could save them years of struggle just by sharing this. Now, if you're skeptical, you should be, because there's a lot of garbage health advice out there, especially around menopause. And I know you've probably tried everything. Maybe you're on HRT, you take the vitamins, nothing is working. But this is different. I'm going to show you the research from the University of Oklahoma published in 2025. They used MRIs, they used blood tests, they used cognitive assessments, peer-reviewed journal. This is structural and it's flexible. So here's what's actually happening. Everyone blames estrogen, and yes, estrogen matters, but there's another player that's arguably more important for your cognitive speed: iron. Now, don't tune out. I'm not talking about anemia. Think of your brain like a high-performance sports car. Dopamine is the fuel that makes that car go fast. It's what gives you focus, motivation, quick thinking. Well, iron is the spark plug. You cannot make dopamine without iron. It's biochemically impossible. Iron is also what helps your blood carry oxygen to your brain. Not enough iron, your brain doesn't get the fuel it needs. So here's the problem. During perimenopause, your cycles get erratic, sometimes heavier. You're losing blood every month, which means you're losing iron every month. And a lot of women spend decades running on lower iron than they should. At the same time, your brain is actually changing structure. The Menopause Society confirmed this in late 2025. You're losing gray matter of the frontal cortex, the temporal cortex, and your hippocampus. These are the regions responsible for memory, executive function, and decision making. That's the CEO of your brain. So your brain is under construction, which is expensive energy-wise. At the same time, you're running low on the fuel needed to run it. The result? Fog, slowness, that feeling like you're wading through mud or molasses to make a simple decision. But here's the problem. When you go to your OB-GYN with brain fog, what do they check? Your hormones. They look at estrogen. They might suggest hormone therapy, and that might help some things, but they almost never check iron. Full panel. And look, this is what gets me. The International Federation of Gynecology and Obstetrics recommended in 2023 that all women who menstruate should be routinely screened for iron deficiency. That recommendation has been largely ignored in the United States. Only about a third of OB-GYNs routinely screen for iron. The rest, they only test if you show symptoms. But brain fog is a symptom. They're just not connecting the dots. So let me give you the receipts. The University of Oklahoma looked at women in perimenopause. None of them were technically iron deficient by standard measures. None of them were anemic, but many of them had what we called low normal iron. But here's what they found. The women with the lower iron performed worse on memory tests. They performed worse on attention tests. Their cognitive processing speed was slower. How much slower? I'm glad you asked. About 150 milliseconds per simple decision. Now, that might not sound like much, but the blink of an eye. Think about it. You make thousands of micro decisions every day. Which word to use? Where are your keys? Reading an email. What should I wear today? Every single one of those takes 150 milliseconds longer. That adds up. By 2 p.m., your brain is exhausted. That's the fog. And here's the villain of this story. It's not the iron, it's the reference range. If you go to Quest or LabCorp, the two largest labs in the country, the reference range for ferritin, that's your stored iron, is often listed as 15 to 150. That's a massive range. So, if you're at 16, the computer flags you as normal. Your doctor sees normal, you get sent home. But a ferritin of 16 is survival mode. It's not enough to keep you from dying. It's not enough to run a CEO level brain. Your doctor is playing a game called Don't Die. You're trying to play the game Stay Sharp. So you're playing two different games. And here's another thing a lot of people worry about. Too much iron in the brain has been linked to dementia risk. Makes sense, right? You don't want to overcorrect. But the study found that at higher blood iron did not lead to higher brain iron. So raising your blood iron levels appears to be safe. It doesn't dump excess iron into your brain. So what to do actually about all of this? Step one, get tested. What gets tested, what gets measured gets changed. Don't wait for your doctor to suggest it. Ask specifically for a full iron panel, not just hemoglobin. You want ferritin, serum iron, and total iron binding capacity, TIBC. And here's why ferritin matters. Ferritin measures your iron stores, the banks, your reserves. You can have normal hemoglobin and still have depleted ferritin. And depleted ferritin can absolutely cause brain fog. Now, if your doctor won't order the test, you can get it yourself. Quest Diagnostics, LabCorp, Walk-In Labs, they all offer direct-to-consumer iron panels. Cost is usually between $30 and $50 without insurance. That's the $10 fix I mentioned. Well, closer to 40, all right. But compared to months or years of brain fog, that really, truly is nothing. Step two, know your numbers. A lot of labs will tell you ferritin is normal starting at 12 or 15 nanograms per milliliter. But most hematologists say if you have symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, hair loss, your ferritin is below 50. You probably need to bring it up. The goal is generally to get ferritin above 50 nanograms per milliliter, ideally closer to 70 to 80 for optimal brain function. Step three, if your iron is low, do something about it. Eat more heme iron, red meat, liver, organ meats. Your body absorbs this easily. Spinach is great, but the iron in plants is much harder for your body to unlock. And here's a key tip. Pair plant-based iron with vitamin C. It dramatically increases absorption. But honestly, if your levels are really low, diet alone might not be enough to catch up. You've been depleted for years. You might need a supplement. But you have to be careful. Cheap iron supplements, ferrous sulfate, are basically like eating rocks. They'll tear your stomach and make you constipated. Does not sound fun. Look for ferrous bisglycinate or iron bisglycinate. It's a chelated form of iron, and it's gentle on the stomach and absorbs much better. So here's my doctor recommendation. Take our iron with vitamin C. Vitamin C is like the VIP escort for iron. It helps get it into your system so that you take the supplement with a glass of orange juice or get a supplement that already has vitamin C in it. And a quick warning, do not take your iron with your coffee or tea. The tannins in coffee block iron absorption. You're literally washing your supplement down the drain. Wait an hour, take it apart. Also avoid taking it with calcium. That blocks absorption too. But the best version, talk to your own doctor about whether you need a higher dose or even IV iron if you're severely depleted. Now, a word of caution, don't just start mega dosing iron without getting tested first. Too much iron can cause problems. You want to know your actual levels, then supplement appropriately. If you start this today, don't expect a miracle tomorrow. Red blood cells take time to turn over, but usually within 3 to 4 weeks, you should start noticing the lights coming back on. Full replenishment can take 3 to 6 months, depending on how depleted you were. Now, if you've been suffering through brain fog for a while and nobody ever told you this, don't beat yourself up. This isn't your fault. The medical system failed to test you. The guidelines failed to require screening. You were told it's just menopause and you believed them. Why wouldn't you? Well, now you know. The most important thing is this. Get the test, find your numbers, and if iron is the issue, you can actually do something about it. And look, even if iron isn't your only problem, it might be part of the problem. Brain fog during menopause is usually attributed to multiple factors: hormones, sleep, stress, iron, maybe all of them together. But the iron is the one thing almost nobody is checking, and it's the one of the easiest things to fix. So start there. Now, here's the reality. Fixing your iron levels takes time. We're talking 4 to 8 weeks before you start noticing a difference, sometimes longer. And that's great for the long game, but that's foundational. But what about tomorrow morning? What about next Tuesday when you're in a meeting and your brain needs to work right now? Because that's the part that drove me crazy for years. We all have these solutions that work eventually, but nothing that works when you actually need it. And that's why I pulled this video out here for you to watch next.